Welcome to Magickal Ascension, where we teach you step by step how to master your reality. So join us on our journey of spiritual transformation and soul actualization. On this episode, we are going to go over the Lesser Banishing Ritual of the Pentagram, also known as the LBRP. Now, I have found that the traditional method of using the LBRP, as it will be referred to from now on, is absolutely false. From my own gnosis, from my own workings, and my own experiences, I can conclusively say that the LBRP, used traditionally by organizations such as the Golden Dawn and the OTO, are false. I feel intuitively that they have given us 90% of the information and left the 10% up to us to decipher for ourselves, because we are the neophytes, and we need to discover this information on our own instead of being hand-fed everything and having all these handouts. We need to actually do the work, understand what goes behind these methods and practices in order to truly grasp and experience what is going on. The traditional method of using the LBRP has you facing east, which is correct. What is not correct, however, is the correspondences of the elements and also of the archangels that preside over the quadrants. The traditional method of the LBRP has you evoking Archangel Raphael first. This makes no sense at all, because Archangel Raphael is the Archangel of the air. Why would you be evoking him when air is not the element of the east? The sun rises in the east. The sun is fire. Now, in order to truly do the LBRP the correct way, you need to evoke Archangel Michael first, because Archangel Michael presides over the quadrant of the east and also of the element of fire. This is incorrect in traditional approaches of the LBRP according to the OTO and the Golden Dawn. They label Archangel Michael as being in the south. Why the south? That is incorrect and makes no sense when you really start dissecting it. Many people, they do not actually do the work, and they just take the information presented in the textbooks as factual without actually receiving the gnosis, because they do the work. So, organizations such as the Ordo Templi Orientis, which is the OTO, and the Golden Dawn, they have Archangel Michael in the south because they say that fire resides in the south. This makes no sense. What does make sense is that Earth resides in the south. Picture this. You are standing in an open field. What is above you? The open sky. What element is the sky? Air. So, north is the true element of, or misspoke, air is the true element of the north. What is below you on your feet? What are you touching? That is the ground, my friends. What element is the ground? Earth. So, we already have established that in the north resides the element of air. And in the south resides the element of the earth. Well, what about the west? That's water. Water is the direction of, water is the element of the west. Water represents the mysteries and the occult. Why is water in the west? Because fire is in the east. And when you really look at it, the correlations are so intricately perfect that it makes sense. They mesh beautifully together because when you take the element of fire and combine it with the element of water, you get the hexagram in the middle, which is you when you are doing the LBRP. Now, the lesser elements of fire is the air, and the lesser elements of the water is the earth. Those are the lesser emanations. So that's the reason why those two mesh well and beautifully together as well. So, in the LBRP, traditionally, some of this is correct because they do, to their credit, label Archangel Raphael as presiding over the Western Quadrant, which is water. So why would they make you be evoking Archangel Raphael first and having you call to Archangel Gabriel behind you and then having Archangel Michael on your right hand and Archangel Uriel on your left hand? It doesn't make sense on any level. So the revised LBRP that I have come up with, and maybe that is arrogance, and maybe that's ego. So I will say that I have stumbled upon it, I have discovered it, because I know there's some other occultists out there that have thought the same thing. And we are the few, I believe, because I don't see this information around, like circulated, so it's widely known. We're the few that actually do know this information. So, when you do the revised LBRP, more or less everything is the same. What's different is the archangels that you call in order. So, when you do the evocations of the archangels, you'll say, before me, Michael. Behind me, Gabriel. This is where it's also different right here. On my left hand, Raphael. On my right hand, Uriel. Why did I switch it up like that? Because of Yod He Wav He. And that's, I believe, the secret behind the revised LBRP, the true LBRP, is because you are calling forth the ineffable name of the Tetragrammaton, the one that we all know and adore. So when you're doing the LBRP, the revised one, what you are really doing is doing Yod He Wav He, because when you break down the archangels or their base energies, you get the energies of Yod He Wav He, because that is what the archangels are. They are the emanations of the One. So that, my friends, is the thing about the revised LBRP. That is the true secret, the true meaning behind the rite of calling forth the archangels, making the pentagrams, all that. Now, another thing, since we're going over revisions, is that on the Kabbalistic Tree of Life, we have a grave mistake of putting Archangel Raphael at the sphere of Hod, of Mercury. Why? Because they give us 90% of the information. And that is not something that I have really realized until my partner and I have connected and we discussed a lot of things, because she really pointed that out to me. So they give us 90% of the information because they're leaving that 10% for you to really unlock on your own, because you're the neophyte. So Archangel Raphael, the Archangel of Fire, on the sphere of Hod, the sphere of Mercury, the sphere of air, it makes no sense. So, in the revised Kabbalistic Tree of Life, because I am lofty enough and arrogant enough to do that, on the revised Kabbalistic Tree of Life, Archangel Raphael is happily at home where he belongs, in Tifereth, the sphere of the sun. Now, what about Archangel Raphael, whose traditional home is the sphere of Tifereth? We put Archangel Raphael where he so duly belongs and misses, which is his correct sphere of Hod, of Mercury. This is structurally sound. This is the actual true tree of life that no one is using. And if they are using it, they're hoarding the information because they are greedy occultists. So, in conclusion, don't take my word for any of this. Don't believe a single thing I've ever said at all, under any circumstance, in this video, until you do the work yourself and you discover the truth behind my words. Because never take the word of someone you don't know. Because just because there is an occultist from the 1800s who wrote a book, who has renown, doesn't mean his information is true or right on any level. So, do your own research. Do your own work. Then you can start believing me. So, that wraps up today's episode, and I hope you have taken in all the information and will not only have made sense of it, but will also apply it. Because applied knowledge is freedom, and that is exactly what magic is. So thank you for watching, and we hope to see you again in the very near future.